Hello everyone, what did Jamaica here? Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, September 18, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We can see that we still have Nigel, which has now transformed into a hurricane. To the west of Nigel, we have a new area of disturbed weather that could possibly develop off the southeastern United States coast during the next 7 days. And to the southeast of Nigel, we have another area of possible tropical cyclone development for the next 7 days as it moves towards the west or west northwest. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a cold front right there off the United States coast, and it's this cold front that's expected to stall and then possibly have an area of low pressure develop into something later on down the road. We can see that we have numerous tropical waves still making their way across the main development region, and it's expected, it's the time of year for this, where we have multiple tropical waves coming off of Africa and then they are possibly developing. Nothing taking place across the Caribbean at this time, and we can see that even more evident on the satellite images of the Atlantic for today. We can see that we have Hurricane Nigel right there to the northeast of the Caribbean, and we can see those multiple tropical waves across the main development region, some of which are associated and embedded within the intertropical convergence zone. We don't see much taking place across the Caribbean at all at this time. If we focus our attention on what was predicted on yesterday's posts that were made on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok pages. So unfortunately we didn't have a video on our YouTube page, but that's why we recommend that you follow our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok pages, because even if we don't post on YouTube, we're definitely posting there. So we made a post yesterday that we would have received some amount of rainfall across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes in Jamaica. We know eastern parishes were referring to the parishes in the county of Surrey, central parishes were referring to the parishes in the county of Middlesex, western parishes were referring to the parishes in the county of Cornwall. And what ended up happening? A post was made at 1:45 p.m. highlighting the infrared satellite images showing clouds bringing overcast skies and some isolated thunder showers to sections of some eastern, central and western parishes in Jamaica. And we know the sparkling white dots represent some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes. So we definitely gotten on some of that, and we even had a one girl army confirming that rainfall. She stated at 1:45 p.m. it was very overcast with thunder roaring in Montego Bay. Now it's finally raining at 4 p.m. And even on our Facebook page we had commenters, Shawnee stating was raining and Ivory Reed stating only thunder in Portmore. If we take a look at the visible satellite images today, we can see where we had those cumulus clouds moving from east to west, then they developed into cumulonimbus clouds way up into the upper levels of the atmosphere, where the westerly wind shear blew them off towards the east, bringing more in the way of overcast skies to sections of some eastern parishes. And we can see those high cold cloud tops even better on the infrared satellite images, as indicated by those blues, greens, yellows, oranges and reds. Definitely had some amount of thunderstorms today across sections of some eastern, central and western parishes, more in the way of maybe Kingston and St. Andrew, sections of St. Catherine, especially northern St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, maybe southern St. James, Trelawney. Definitely gotten on some amount of afternoon thunderstorms. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston, and as night progresses we can see the temperature is getting lower to 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. As relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the UR and the GFS malls are showing some amount of yellows, if not slightly orange colors, that represent 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the average temperatures for the month of September in Jamaica is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And when we take a look at the thermometer, that's about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Tuesday. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see that we still have a lot of moist air across majority of the Caribbean, as indicated by those blue colors. We know the dry air is represented by the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds, and we don't have much of that taking place around Jamaica at all. However, as it relates to the siren dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we do see that we have some slight hazy weather coming into sections of northeastern South America. We don't see anything happening across Jamaica at all. Taking a look at the wave forecast for Jamaica for tomorrow, we still have much of the same. Most of the high 1 meter wave height across the southern and eastern side of the island, while the lighter blue represents the 0.5 meter wave heights or less for sections of some northern and western parishes. And that's due to the fact that the winds are going to be coming in from the east, slightly coming in from the south, maybe more of an east-southeasterly flow across the island for tomorrow. Then, as usual, we have that afternoon convection across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica as usual. Usually wherever we see that air piling up, that's where we have that afternoon convection. And if we take a look at the wind shear forecast, we see more of a west-southwesterly kind of wind shear forecast being projected. And we know wherever the wind shear is blowing off to, we usually have more of an overcast sky kind of set up across that side of the island. So it looks like maybe more overcast skies across sections of some northern parishes for tomorrow, maybe even spilling in on some of the afternoon convection as well. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, we're definitely going to be in for some amount of morning rainfall across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica. We know eastern parishes, we're talking about sections of Portland, St. Thomas, maybe spilling into sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. We'll see how that goes. And we do see the blues, and this is valid for 9 a.m. on Tuesday. We see the blues, they represent some amount of rainfall across those very spots. Taking a look ahead in time, this is about 2 p.m. Jamaica time, and we do see more blues, and it's spread out across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica on both the Euro and the GFS malls. So we're definitely going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall. We do even see those darker shades of blues across northern parishes in Jamaica to signify what we stated earlier about the upper level winds pushing off those cloud tops off towards the east-northeast. So definitely more rainfall in store for sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes with the bias for northern Jamaica. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, we do see some drastic differences with the amount of rainfall totals expected, but we do see that we're definitely going to be in for some amount of rainfall across the island for eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls, even although the Euro is showing up to 1.1 inch of rainfall being forecasted, especially across northern sections of the island, but the GFS is showing up to 0.53 of an inch of rainfall. Either way, we're definitely going to be in for some amount of rainfall across the island for tomorrow. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on that rainfall. We're in the month of September. We usually receive an uptick in the amount of rainfall that we receive for the entire year in both Kingston and Montego Bay, not to mention the rest of the island. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that we indeed had some amount of afternoon convection across sections of Florida, Cuba, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, even sections of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica as usual, and not to mention Guatemala and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico right there. And we do see some spotty hit or miss rainfall passing through the Caribbean, even south of Jamaica at this time. Definitely going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall for eastern Jamaica for tomorrow. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we do see some rainfall lingering to the north of Barbados. Some of this spilling into sections of St. Lucia at this time or later tonight. Even sections of southern Martinique getting in on some of that rainfall as well. Taking a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see where we indeed had that afternoon rainfall across sections of Cuba, Florida, Mexico, Guatemala, even sections of western or northwestern Venezuela, not to mention Guyana and Suriname got in some amount of rainfall for today. Taking a look at the temperature forecast across the Caribbean for tomorrow, we can see that we still have above normal temperatures, even up to 4 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, especially across South America. We see those reds, so we definitely are in store for some amount of above normal temperatures across the region for Tuesday. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see that we don't have much dry air taking shape across majority of the Caribbean, as indicated by those blue colors. Majority of the surround this is right there across portions of the main development region, and Africa is indicated by those browns. Taking a look at the wave forecast, we can see that Hurricane Nigel is going to be churning up the waters to the northeast of the Caribbean, as indicated by those purples, reds, and oranges that represent 2-meter wave heights or more. While the Caribbean should be getting in on the usual 1.5 meter wave heights, the Western Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, the 0.5 meter wave heights are still there. And that's due to the fact that the winds are still going to be coming in from the east, averaging up to 20 knots at most, especially across the far southern Caribbean, maybe 15 knots or 10 to 15 knots elsewhere across the Caribbean. While right here where we have Hurricane Nigel going to be receiving 25 knot winds or more, up to the hurricane status that it is currently at, so maybe 74 miles per hour or more. As relates to the rainfall forecast, we do see more rainfall in store for sections of the Eastern Caribbean for tomorrow. So sections of the Windward Islands might get in on some amount of rainfall as indicated by the GFS model. Not so much across the Euro model, but we do see maybe sections of St. Lucia, maybe Dominica getting in on some amount of rainfall for tomorrow. Not so much across St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Grenada or Trinidad and Tobago, but we do see rainfall in store, maybe some isolated spots across sections of French Guyana, Suriname, Guyana. Definitely some rainfall in store for Venezuela, heavy rainfall in store for Colombia as usual, Panama, Costa Rica, Eastern Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico definitely in for some amount of rainfall. We can also see some more rainfall in store for Florida, the Bahamas, sections of the Turks and Caicos, Cuba, Hispaniola, and even portions of Jamaica. I know that when we see the forecast like this, being so unison, showing such similar things, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.